This horror story is called 309, and it was submitted by our user. Anik was traveling for work. It was a small town, not on any major map. After a long drive, he finally reached his destination and soon found the only hotel in town. It was called Hotel Chanali. The nameplate was crooked. As he stepped inside, the receptionist smiled strangely. Only room 309 is available. Anik took the key without question. He was too tired to care. The elevator creaked as it climbed to the 3rd floor. The hallway was dim and the carpet was stained. Room 309 was at the very end of the hall. The number plate on the door looked like it had been scratched by something sharp. When Anik unlocked the door, he could smell old wood and something metallic. The room was small but cozy. The bed was clean, the linen crisp. The windows were nailed shut from the outside. In the corner was a TV and a clock. It showed the time, 3:09. He didn't think much of it. After changing into his clothes, Anik quickly lay down on the bed, his exhaustion making him sleepy within seconds. Just as he was about to drift off to sleep, the TV turned on. It was filled with static. Anik sat up abruptly. He wasn't sure if he was dreaming or awake. The TV remote was lying on the table beside the bed, and it was clear that no one had touched it. Startled by what he was seeing, he got up and walked over to the TV set. He switched it off, hoping that it would solve the problem. But 10 minutes later, it turned on again. This time, a whisper came through the static. "Don't sleep." He froze. "Who was there?" he shouted, but there was no response. All he heard was the loud hum of static. He turned off the television again, locked the door, and checked the bathroom to make sure he was alone. But when he returned to the bed, he couldn't help but feel a growing sense of dread and unease. He lay down again, trying to dismiss his mounting anxiety. But it was difficult to relax with the unsettling feeling that something ominous was lurking in the shadows. And just as the clock struck 3:09 a.m., the clock fell off the wall. It hit the floor and shattered into pieces. Eerily, the second hand continued to tick, but backwards. And then he heard breathing. It was right behind his left ear. Anik spun around, his heart pounding, but there was no one there. Yet the breathing continued, slow and steady, like someone standing right next to him. Panic surged through him as he realized he wasn't alone in the room. He turned to the bathroom, its door slightly ajar, and rushed towards it, hoping to find an explanation, or perhaps another guest. However, upon entering, he found nothing. The bathroom was empty. The bathroom was empty. The shower untouched, and there was no other exit. He quickly returned to the bedroom, his mind racing with questions and fear. Was he going crazy? Had he imagined the breathing sound? He tried to calm himself, reminding himself that there was a logical explanation for everything. Yet the ticking clock and the mysterious breathing persisted, each tick echoing his fear. As minutes passed, his anxiety grew. He started to pace the room, his eyes darting around, searching for any signs of a break-in or any indication of what was happening. But the room seemed undisturbed, offering no clues to unravel the mystery. Suddenly, his gaze fell on the TV set, still turned off. An idea struck him. Perhaps the answer lay in the television. With trembling hands, he reached out, turned it on. The screen was filled with static once again. And then, as if responding to his thoughts, a voice cut through the noise. "Don't sleep." It was the same whisper from earlier. Fear tightened its grip on Anik's heart. Was this a prank? If so, it was a cruel one. But who would do such a thing? And why? Or was there something more sinister at play? Then the whispering voice began to speak again. "Turn the knob! Turn the knob!" Hesitantly, he turned the knob on the radio, but there was no change in the static. The voice persisted, growing louder. "Turn it clockwise! Turn it clockwise!" Following the voice's instructions, he rotated the knob clockwise. The static abruptly vanished. A distorted face appeared on the screen, contorted in a silent scream. The face was pale, eyes wide with terror, mouth open in a silent plea for help. Before Anik could react, the face disappeared and the screen went blank again. The only sound was the voice, now a raspy whisper. "She wants to come out." A chill ran down Anik's spine. Who was she? What did it mean? And how was this ghostly apparition connected to him? As the clock struck 3:09, the face on the screen turned toward the camera, revealing a horrifying sight. Half of her face was burned, revealing charred flesh and vacant sockets where her eyes should have been. The sight was so grotesque that Anik instinctively recoiled. The burned woman stared directly at him, her spectral fingers reaching out as if pleading for help. Then she opened her mouth and spoke. Her voice was a chilling whisper that seemed to emanate from the depths of hell itself. "Let me out," she rasped, her words punctuated by the ticking clock. "Help me!" Tears streamed down Anik's face. He wanted to help, but he didn't know how. Was this a ghost trapped in a TV set or a demon trying to escape? In a panic, he turned the knob counterclockwise, hoping to stop whatever he saw. But the burned woman only smiled, a horrifying, ghastly smile that revealed rows of sharp, pointed teeth. "You can't save me," she hissed, "but we can be together." The TV flickered, and her face filled the screen. She leaned closer, her breath fogging the glass. "I want to play a game," she whispered. "Would you like to play?" Before Anik could respond, she was gone. The TV set went blank, and the room was plunged into darkness. In the sudden darkness, Anik felt an icy cold grip his heart. Was he losing his mind? Was he trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape? He stumbled back, his hand brushing against something hard in the darkness. It was the fallen clock. He looked at its shattered face. The second hand was still moving, but backwards. He remembered the burned woman's words. "We can be together." Was she trying to warn him? Or was she simply reveling in his terror? The thought of spending eternity with this demonic entity was unbearable. Then, as if summoned by his thoughts, the television flickered back to life. The burned woman stared out at him, her grin widening. "Are you ready to play?" she asked, her voice dripping with malice. Her eyes seemed to bore into him, penetrating his soul. "If you win, I'll let you go," she offered, her tone laced with amusement. "But if you lose," she paused, savoring his fear, "you'll stay with me forever." The room was filled with a deafening silence as Anik contemplated his fate. He knew he couldn't escape the room, nor could he ignore the terrifying presence that now permeated every corner of the space. Trapped between the prospect of eternal torment and a game with a demonic entity, he found himself at a crossroads. Would he dare accept the challenge and risk an eternity of suffering, or would he choose to face the unknown terrors of the outside world? The clock ticked ominously, each second dragging the two figures closer to their fateful confrontation. And then Anik made his choice. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this scary story, please give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on any of our future stories. And if you have a scary story to share with us, then use the link in the description to submit your story. We may feature your story and give you full credit. Until next time, remember, some doors are best left unopened.